Imagine standing at the threshold of a moment that matters. Your heart is hammering, your palms are slick, and that nagging voice of doubt is whispering you're going to fail. To crush that self-doubt in just 5 minutes, begin by grounding yourself with a deliberate breathing technique. Inhale deeply through your nose for a slow count of 4, feeling your diaphragm expand. Hold that breath comfortably for another count of 4, noticing the tension in your chest release. Then exhale smoothly through your mouth for a count of 6, visualizing every bit of stress leaving your body. Repeat this cycle 3 times, paying close attention to each inhalation and exhalation. As your breathing settles into a steady rhythm, you'll notice your pulse slowing and your mind sharpening. This simple yet powerful 4-4-6 pattern flips a switch in your autonomic nervous system, engaging the parasympathetic response that calms the fight-or-flight reflex and floods your brain with clarity instead of chaos. By minute 1, your racing thoughts have been corralled, making room for focused, fearless action rather than paralyzing indecision. The physiological foundation of confidence begins with oxygen regulation. When anxiety strikes, your breathing becomes shallow and rapid, depriving your brain of the steady oxygen flow needed for clear thinking. This controlled breathing technique doesn't just calm your nerves, it optimizes cognitive function by ensuring your prefrontal cortex receives adequate oxygen to process information effectively. Research in neuroscience demonstrates that rhythmic breathing patterns synchronize brain waves, creating coherence between your heart rate variability and neural oscillations. This coherent state enhances emotional regulation, decision-making, capacity, and mental resilience. The specific 4-4-6 ratio activates your vagus nerve, the longest cranial nerve that connects your brain to major organs, triggering a cascade of calming neurotransmitters, including GABA and serotonin, while simultaneously reducing adrenaline and norepinephrine production. Next, leverage the science of posture to signal confidence to your body and brain. Rise tall, feet hip-width apart, shoulders relaxed but rolled back, chest lifted, and place your hands firmly on your hips or raise them overhead like wings unfurling. This open, expansive stance doesn't just look powerful, it actively rewires your hormone levels, increasing testosterone and decreasing cortisol, the stress hormone, within seconds. As your physical frame shifts from contraction to expansion, your internal narrative shifts too, from "I'm not ready" to "I am here and I belong." Maintain this pose for a full minute, breathing naturally but keeping your spine aligned. You'll feel a subtle yet undeniable surge of energy coursing through your torso and limbs, anchoring you in a state of readiness. This minute of embodied confidence primes you for action, transforming the imposter syndrome jitters into a poised, grounded presence. The power pose phenomenon extends beyond mere psychological suggestion. It creates measurable biochemical changes that fundamentally alter your mental state. Amy Cuddy's groundbreaking research at Harvard Business School revealed that expansive postures increase testosterone levels by approximately 20% while decreasing cortisol by 25% within just 2 minutes. These hormonal shifts don't merely make you feel more confident. They enhance risk tolerance, improve pain threshold, and boost cognitive performance under pressure. The neurological explanation lies in embodied cognition theory, which demonstrates that physical postures directly influence mental processes through proprioceptive feedback loops. When you assume a dominant posture, mechanoreceptors in your muscles and joints send signals to your brain's motor cortex, which then communicates with the limbic system to adjust emotional processing and stress response accordingly. Once your body is aligned and your breath is stable, turn your attention inward for a victory replay. Close your eyes briefly and summon a vivid memory of a personal triumph, a presentation you aced, a challenge you overcame, or a time you felt truly unstoppable. Relive every sensory detail, the room's temperature, the applause, the satisfaction, settling in your chest. Hear the tone of your own voice as you nailed that moment. Feel the texture of the surface beneath your hand, the rhythm of your steps, the pride swelling in your chest. By immersing yourself in this positive recollection, for 30 seconds, you anchor your current state to tangible proof of your capability. Neuroscientists call this state-dependent memory, meaning evoking the emotions and context of past success actually triggers the same neural pathways as the original event. In under 90 seconds, you'll have transformed self-doubt into self-certainty. Your brain now recognizes that you have overcome before and can do so again. This visualization technique taps into the remarkable plasticity of human memory and its connection to current emotional states. When you consciously recall a moment of triumph, your hippocampus retrieves not just the factual details, but the entire emotional context, flooding your system with the same neurochemicals that accompanied your original success. Mirror neurons fire as if you're experiencing the victory anew, while your amygdala processes the positive emotions and dampens threat detection systems. The sensory richness of your visualization activates multiple brain regions simultaneously. Visual cortex processes imagery, auditory cortex processes sounds, and somatosensory cortex processes tactile memories. This multimodal activation creates stronger neural connections and makes the confidence boost more durable and accessible for future recall. Following that, execute a rapid cognitive reframe to dismantle any remaining negative thinking. Identify the core belief fueling your doubt. Maybe it's "I can't handle this" or "I'll make a fool of myself," and immediately flip it by asking, "How can I make this work?" Or, "What small step can I take right now?" Replace self-limiting language with curiosity-driven questions, turning a closed mindset into an open problem-solving approach. For instance, if you're nervous about a difficult conversation, rephrase, "I'm afraid they'll disagree," as "How can I express my point clearly so they understand?" This swift verbal pivot reframes anxiety as preparation, fear as information, and doubt as an invitation to learn. Over the next 40 seconds, mentally brainstorm 2 or 3 actionable possibilities, perhaps adjusting your tone, preparing a brief outline, or selecting one key insight to share. This proactive mental shift shifts your brain from reactive worry to strategic planning, reinforcing the belief that you are resourceful, adaptable, and in control. Cognitive reframing leverages neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to form new neural pathways throughout life. When you consciously challenge negative thought patterns, you're literally rewiring your neural networks, weakening synaptic connections associated with self-doubt, while strengthening pathways linked to solution-focused thinking. The transition from declarative negative statements to open-ended questions activates your brain's default mode network differently, engaging the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, responsible for executive function and creative problem-solving. This region communicates with the anterior cingulate cortex to reduce emotional reactivity while enhancing cognitive flexibility. The process of generating multiple solutions activates divergent thinking patterns, which research shows increases confidence by demonstrating your mental resourcefulness and adaptive capacity. Finally, anchor this newfound confidence with a concise, potent mantra. Choose a phrase that resonates personally, such as, "I am capable and ready," "This moment is mine," or "Confidence is my choice," and repeat it aloud or silently 3 times, infusing each repetition with intent. As you speak or think the words, synchronize them with gentle yet firm nods of your head or subtle taps of your fist over your heart, physically reinforcing the message. This multisensory affirmation engages your conscious and subconscious mind alike, embedding the statement deeper into your neural circuitry. In the last 30 seconds of your 5-minute routine, take a final deep breath, reread your posture, and internalize the mantra's truth. You'll step into your next task not as someone plagued by self-doubt, but as a person who has reset their physiology, harnessed their history of success, reframed their thinking, and spoken a truth that cannot be ignored. The neuroscience behind mantras reveals their profound impact on brain structure and function. Repetitive positive affirmations activate the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, the brain region associated with self-related processing and positive valuation. This activation strengthens neural pathways linked to self-worth while simultaneously reducing activity in the brain's threat detection centers. The physical movements, nodding or heart tapping, engage the motor cortex and create additional sensory memories associated with the positive statement. This embodied approach to affirmation creates what neuroscientists call multimodal learning, where information is encoded across multiple sensory channels, making it more resistant to forgetting and more readily accessible during stress. The cumulative effect of this 5-minute protocol creates what psychologists term cognitive coherence, a state where your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations align toward a common goal. This alignment reduces internal conflict and mental noise, freeing cognitive resources for peak performance. The beauty of this system lies in its compound effectiveness. Each technique amplifies the others, creating a synergistic boost that exceeds the sum of its parts. The breathing calms your nervous system, the posture primes confidence hormones, the visualization proves your capability, the reframing activates solution-focused thinking, and the mantra crystallizes your empowered state into a memorable, repeatable experience. Practice this 5-step, 5-minute protocol daily, and you'll find that crushing self-doubt becomes less of a challenge and more of an inevitable outcome of your own deliberate preparation. Consistency transforms these techniques from temporary fixes into permanent neural patterns, making confidence your default response rather than a state you must consciously achieve. The neuroplasticity principle ensures that repeated practice literally rewires your brain for resilience, turning self-doubt from a persistent enemy into an occasional visitor that you can quickly and confidently escort to the exit.